You want to find out where they're building strong kids, strong families, and strong communities every day? We'll tell you all about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Florence Family YMCA, and we're visiting with Colleen Walsh, the Child Care Director. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. How are you?
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Incredible. Thrilled to highlight some of the amazing activities going on in the Y.
We are really excited. I just came to the Y about 5-6 weeks ago. Been doing some child care programming for probably on and off about 15 years. So I'm really excited. The Y is a wonderful facility for me to have an after-school program. Mm-hmm. The preschool program also. We're able to, I can't ask for a better facility.
And you had been active in programs similar to this prior to, you said 15 years in child care.
I've been about 15 years in child care.
Are you originally from the area, Colleen?
Chicago. Just recently moved from Kansas City, Missouri, and was operating a large national child care program out of there. Actually did training for the developmental programs to staff for child care.
And what brought you to the area? This position?
This position was one of the options. The other was personal.
Great.
Family.
Yeah. And home is now in Florence?
Home is now in Hartsville.
Oh, good. Well, that's a little bit of a drive.
A little bit.
Not far.
Nice.
There's a YMCA there in Hartsville also.
Yes, there is. I have not been there yet.
We'll have to check it out.
I will have to check it out. That's
right.
We'll
have to pop over there. And so you joined the Florence Family YMCA just 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Just moved about 7 weeks ago and came here about 5-6 weeks ago. I am brand new.
That's amazing. The 15 years you said you were in training other folks in the child care industry?
Yes. I worked for the Department of Labor apprenticeship program in the state of West Virginia to teach appropriate child development practices for pre-kindergarten. Was also an elementary school teacher and have worked on literacy projects in the Appalachian region. So, and prior to that, I was a teacher, counselor, social worker. So I come from a diverse educational background.
Yes.
Which this is what I love. I love the programming, and I'm enthusiastic about I can't imagine my career without children and families. And this kind of puts everything together in what I've done.
When did you first think you might want to be an educator, Colleen?
It was just what I went to school for. It was not I grew up pretty much in a preschool developmental program from my mother and my grandmother, and then had moved into Montessori, was in daycares, became pretty popular in the 70s and early 80s, and that was part of family business. So I kind of grew up in it.
Okay. Can you share with viewers a little bit about your teaching experiences, where your first position was and the grades you taught?
First position was at inner city Chicago. Then I taught there for a couple of years, did a older elementary school, 5th, 6th grade, and then moved on to 1st grade, which is fabulous because it's my favorite. And then I did special ed for about 3 years. Went into a very rural community, like I said, was involved with the Appalachian Project for literacy in the state of West Virginia, and had gone very, very rural. So I have a lot of diverse family populations that I've worked with, which has really been interesting, and pretty much got me into the social work aspect of what I did later. And then I came back to teaching.
Okay, yeah. I was going to ask, why do you think 1st grade's your favorite?
It's the reading.
It's the reading.
It's that light that turns on when a child does something like, wow, I did it. And I see a lot of that in programming activities for the after school. Like, for example, they were doing a science project, and you see that light, and it says, wow, why did that happen? That's what it's all about. And I love what I do. I get as excited as the kids about doing it. I want my staff to be pumped up about doing it. I think academic enrichment programs are very needed in the educational system and, of course, outside of the educational system, especially here in South Carolina. I was excited about doing them in West Virginia, and I'm very excited about bringing them to South Carolina. When I taught, you are limited by what you have to teach in the classroom. What I can do in the after-school programs is all the academic enrichment activities that you don't have time for in the classroom. For example, building the volcano and making it explode. So those are the cool things that we do. A lot of science activities.
That must be
A
thrilling.
lot of hands-on. It is. It's exciting. I enjoy it.
Had you worked in a Y prior to the Florence family Y?
I was with the YWCA in Charleston, West Virginia. Was over the children's programs there. That's when I got involved with and that was in housing projects. Again, working with diverse populations. With the YWCA, I was also involved more like of activity therapy type of programs through the homeless shelter and the domestic violence shelters with special needs, at-risk children.
Colleen, can you share with the viewers what programs are particularly under your direction of the Florence family Y?
Currently, we have large after-school programs serving 7 different schools in the Florence area, where we transport children from the schools to here after school. We're also open daily for when school is not in session. And we do a lot of community field trips. We also have field trips that come in during the year. And again, enrichment activities. There's also a preschool program for 3 and 4-year-olds that is a lot of learning centers and developmental appropriateness for pre-readiness skills for kindergarten, which is our goal.
And what ages are included in the programs for the after-school programs?
Kindergarten, 5K through 6th grade. There's also the youth programs of Adventure Camp that children are able to continue through the Y with Adventure Camp for 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. So what we like to do is, and there's a lot of children who are raised through the Y. They progress forward, and that's what we really want to do, is to keep a family environment. It's a safe place for kids. It's a good place for teaching, for learning values, a lot of social development. It's a great emotional development place to come and developing good character. It's a safe place, and that's something that parents and families look for this day and age.
Colleen, can you share with the viewers about particularly the two main programs, what kind of activities the children are having in each?
Okay, the preschool, we have a lot of different learning centers. 3 and 4-year-olds learn through activities in which they are involved. A lot of hands-on, a lot of listening, a lot of doing. Keep them very, very busy, but all it's a learning process. And again, we're going into the pre-readiness skills of academics that they're going to need, the readiness skills that they're going to need for the basis of mathematics, reading, and have them prepared for going into the elementary schools. The after-school program, we have a homework time, which is very much stressed. We do not provide individual tutoring. However, my staff is interacting and involved with the children during that time. We have, again, the academic enrichment programs. I have the sports availability for it. They have the gymnasium, and they also have swimming once a week with the aquatics program. So I'm kind of able to interact all of the activities here at the Y into the program. It's really been great.
And Colleen, you said the kids are coming from 7 schools.
7 schools.
It's amazing. Are they coming straight from school?
They're coming straight from school. It is it's a lot of business traffic.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trafficking when they first come in. My staff is on from the time that they walk in the door and we close at 6.
That's fantastic. That's a great commitment. We thank you. Colleen, when you think about all the aspects of just being here 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, have you already recognized some ideas for new programs that you'd like to incorporate?
What I really like to do is I have a waiting list for all of my programs for the after-school program right now. What I'd really like to do, there are some after-school programs in the elementary schools now. What I'd really like to look at, I know that the need for after-school care is out there because of the waiting list. What I'd like to do is to see what we can do for some outreach centers of schools that don't have them, and maybe going out more into the rural areas where there definitely is a need. There's children between the ages, for latchkey children, between the ages of, first grade and going to age 12, sixth grade, it's hard for parents. In today's society, I mean, what we're looking at is we're looking at a lot of single parents. We're looking at, and the YMCA provides an opportunity for all parents to be able to afford quality after-school programming, and that's what I'd really like to see in the future.
And Colleen, in the last 5 or 6 weeks, have you noticed that parents are getting active and helping with some ideas?
I want my parents active. I want their involvement. They are certainly my customer. They choose to have where they want their child to be. This is part of their program. I mean, it's not. I want their involvement in it. I want. They have a lot to offer. I mean, what we're also looking at is we're not looking just as parents anymore. We're also looking at grandparents raising grandchildren. And there's a lot that parents and grandparents and families have to offer. They want to be involved. They want to see what their children are doing. I offer open houses once a month for the parents to come in at their option. If they choose to, if they don't, that's fine. But to turn around and to come in and kind of see what the kids have been doing, so that they are involved. And the YMCA's, it's a social environment. They exercise here. They have their children here. They're involved in different programs in the sports or aquatics, and this is the children on the soccer teams. This is kind of a social community. So it's outside of the schools, and so you get a lot of parents who are involved. They want the Y to be that place for their family, and that's why they choose it.
Colleen, have you heard certain comments that have been indicative of many of the parents that they want to focus on certain aspects like time management or certain aspects of their child's life that they're very interested in?
Well, again, you're getting homework is a major issue for parents.
Yeah.
I understand that. Been there, done it. When you're a single parent or you're working all day long, doesn't matter if you're a single parent. By the time that you get off of work, pick your child up, stop at the grocery store, throw a load of laundry in, prepare dinner, get things ready for baths, and get them into bed. The worst thing that you don't want to hear at 9 o'clock is, I need to do my homework.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. Part of instilling Christian values and character and values to the children, and responsibility primarily, is that there is a homework time provided every day. If you don't have homework, that's fine. Reading's never hurt anybody, and quiet activities have never hurt anyone. We certainly are not going to discipline your child for not doing homework, but there is, because that's a parent's purpose. We do provide the homework time. What we want to do is instill the children the responsibility to completing their assignments, or at least starting them. That is the one thing that parents really, really, really need done and ask for to be done. I think that that's probably the biggest complaint in all after-school programs from here to California.
And when you think of that, Colleen, what do you think is the greatest need that you see your programs fulfilling?
I'd love to get some tutoring in for options for parents to select for that, because I think, certainly we're a group provider rather than one-on-one, and I think that what they're doing, we can't spend one-on-one time. That's not what the after-school program's about. And again, we're limited to a 30-minute segment for homework so that we can do the other activities that we want to be doing. They've sat all day in school. They need to move around. They need to interact and certainly socially interact with one another. They have that need. They're still young. They're still got that need going on of the wiggles. So, for them to come here and it's like homework and, that kind of environment, I don't want that kind of environment.
And what do you like best about working here at the Y, Colleen?
I'm going to tell you, I've worked at a lot of places. The team here with the directors and the staff and the parents have been fabulous. It's certainly a great social place to be, and I cannot tell you how the other staff has really stepped in to assist. It's a great team, and I've never, it's a real team, and we want the same thing, and it's kind of like one team, one vision, and they're all going in the right direction, or the same direction, and that's really kind of cool to work with.
You can see her with her Boolean smile. She gets more of a thrill.
I love what I do.
The light bulb go off than probably the kids themselves. Colleen, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Florence Family YMCA. We're visiting with Jennifer Jones, the Director of Youth, Teen, and Family Programs here at the Y. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Incredible all week to highlight the Florence Family YMCA, to think of so many activities going on here at the Y. It's amazing.
Definitely. We always have a lot of things going on.
Incredible facility. It was so great yesterday when Jerry and Brian were able to highlight some of the activities, but to think youth, teen, and family programs, that must be a heck of a lot of programs.
That is a lot of programs. We do a lot of different things. Try to target kids over the age of 7th grade and up.
Okay.
A lot of high school programs.
7th grade and up. Great. How about yourself, Jennifer? Are you originally from the area?
No, I'm not. I'm from Kershaw, South Carolina.
Where's that?
It's a small town. It's about an hour and a half from here, near Camden.
Near Camden. And did you attend school in the area?
I did. I went to Francis Marion University.
Great. What did you study?
I graduated with a major in psychology, a major in political science, and a minor in psychology. Sorry.
Major in political science and minor in psychology.
Yeah.
What had originally prompted you to major in political science?
I've always loved politics.
Huh. You thought about running for office ever?
No.
You just loved...
I love the idea of politics, all the debates, discussions.
And the minor in psychology was a good prompting to get active in the Y?
Actually, I started working at the Y here as a part-time job, just to make extra money during school as a camp counselor and as an after-school counselor. From there, I went on to work as a lifeguard as well. Worked here pretty much through college and just enjoyed it. It was a great job. I got to play with kids and get paid for it.
Yeah. How long have you worked at the Y now in total?
6 years.
Is that right? And that aspect of playing with kids and getting paid for it was probably what prompted you to stay on after graduation?
Well, once I graduated, we realized that there was a growing teen population. A lot of the kids, once they aged out of our program at 6th grade, there wasn't a whole lot for them to do. So there was just kind of a need for it. And I was like, sure, sounds like fun.
That does sound like fun. The aspect of being able to spend time with children, particularly as you see them grow through the programs. How did you come to your position of overseeing youth programs? I mean, that's a pretty big title.
It is. We decided to kind of separate our child care programs and our youth programs. Child care pretty much runs from preschool to 6th grade. After that, you have 7th grade, which are your middle school children, and then you have your high school students. It's a whole different area. The kids are interested in different things. They want to do different things. So we decided we needed a whole different person to run that position.
And you said the program, the ages are 7th grade and up. Are those set nationally, or are those essentially set here locally?
It's set here locally, but otherwise do follow the same guidelines. Not all of them, but some do.
Can you share with the viewers a little bit about some of the programs that are available in the after-school hours?
Actually, we're trying to get started an after-school program or a youth program for 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. That age group's really hard age group to work with. They're pretty much too old to be babysat and too young to stay home by themselves. So we're actually interested in opening up kind of a youth center here where the kids can come after school, work on their homework, hang out with their friends, do different activities, that kind of stuff. We'd also do some overnights, spend the nights, Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Lock-ins. The kids love them. Maybe some weekend activities as well.
Those lock-ins are here at the Y.
Yes, they are.
Now, that must be madhouse.
It is, and it's definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah. How many chaperones are here normally? Is it just Jennifer Jones?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We have, it really depends on the number of kids. I try to keep a 10-to-1 ratio, at least.
Great. What are some of the activities y'all would do on a sleepover?
We watch movies. We do swimming. We always do midnight pizza. Sometimes the bowling alley in town does midnight bowling sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of the other movie theaters do late night movies. So it just kind of depends on the group that we have and what they're interested in doing.
A 10 to 1's a great ratio. I mean, you've really made a commitment to have some good level of focus on the children there.
You have to.
Yeah, yeah. How about volunteers or parents being involved in any of these programs? You must have some volunteers involved on some of those activities.
We do. Now, usually on the overnights, the parents are like, thank you for taking care of our kids.
Right.
They're not going to volunteer for that. But some of the different field trips and stuff we go on, we welcome parents to go with us. It just kind of depends on what they're interested in.
Jennifer, where do you come up with the ideas for the programs?
Well, I'd love to sit here and tell you that they're all my ideas and they're
yeah.
original, but they're not. We use a lot of networking through different Ys. I have a lot of friends that work at different Ys in the area and in different states, actually, and I call them and see what they're doing, see what works for them, and try to adapt it to here.
You said you've got a lot of friends at YMCAs around the area, around the country. Are those friends that you've met during your time at the Y, or are those folks that you knew even at Francis Marion or in Kershaw?
Well, some of them are people that I met in college that actually worked here with me and have gone on to work at different Ys. I have actually a friend who's a youth director at a Y in Florida who started out here with me 6 years ago.
And some of the programs that are in place are very similar?
Very similar. He was actually also the youth director in North Carolina, and we ran very similar programs.
Great. Jennifer, can you share with viewers a little bit about some of your outreach programs and how the outreach program and how it got its start?
Well, we actually have an outreach program here, but the one that I'm in charge of is in Lake City.
Okay.
It got its start through the Housing Authority. Basically, they target kids that live in public housing. Gives them an after-school program, a place for them to go do their homework, a safe environment for them to go have fun. Also, during the summer, they run a summer program for those children. Pretty much the only qualification is that the children have to live in that area of Lake City in public housing. We pick them up from school, we help them with their homework. If they do well in school, they keep their grades up, we'll take them and let them participate in different activities through the recreation department down there, different sports and stuff. So,
how did you all decide on Lake City?
there was a need for it, a big need for it. Honestly, the Housing Authority, we really can't take, the blame for it, but the Housing Authority decided that there was a real need to focus on that age group and those type of children. And they approached us and asked us for help because we, of course, have a wonderful reputation with our child care program.
Jennifer, has the program's been successful?
Very successful.
Right.
I would actually like to expand it and actually open another center down there. We have one center that the children go to after school, and they're pretty much based out of that, and it's in one of the local Housing Authority areas down there.
So if you were going to expand, you definitely want to focus on Lake City, or you would?
Well, I'd like to open another center in Lake City just because there's such a need for it. We could actually help a lot more children if we opened another center. We do some outreach here. Another one of our directors will be touching on that. Tell you all about it here.
Jennifer, what is the age of the children participating in youth programs?
The youth programs that I deal with are 7th through 9th grade.
So it's very similar to what's happening here. Okay, right.
Now, our teen programs focus on 10th grade through 12th grade.
Okay. How about any special programs that were happening over the summer?
Oh, wow. We stay very, very busy over the summer. I actually run a summer camp for 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. Pretty much it's an all-day camp. The kids come all day, and they go swimming every day, get to play basketball, different sports. We go on field trips once a week, different things. Stay very busy, keep them very busy. I also run our gymnastics camp during the summer. It's a one-week specialty camp. Cheerleading camp, we do that as well. Dance camp, and we do a couple of art camps as well.
Jennifer, you're wearing a ton of hats.
It's enjoyable, though. I really enjoy it.
You think, and the kids enjoy it?
They do.
Do they really?
They really do.
They're candid with you. We really like what we're doing, Jennifer.
They're very candid with
Yeah.
me, sometimes a little too candid. But yeah, they do enjoy what they do.
That's great. It's so tough to know oftentimes if someone's having a really good time or if they're just there because a parent thinks it's a good activity for them. But these children shared,
They do. The kids really enjoy it. And I can speak mainly for the summer camp of the 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. They really enjoy it. I know this because they still call me after summer's over and just to touch base and see how, tell me how they're doing.
Right.
Invite me to different events that they have going on.
Not because they have a crush on you.
No, not at all.
Kidding. Of course, that doesn't happen, I know. Right. What programs do you hope to include in the activities in the future, Jennifer?
I really want to focus on opening a youth center here, doing more after-school activities for 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. Mm-hmm. We have such a wonderful child care program for preschool through 6th grade. I really would like to expand on that.
Great. Yeah, that would be exciting. What is the viability of something like that, Jennifer?
There's so many kids in the neighborhood. We're so centrally located. There's so many kids in the neighborhood that could actually just walk here. Yeah. And kids today need a place where they feel safe, that they can come and hang out and just enjoy themselves. Mm-hmm. And the Y's a good, positive environment for that.
Definitely. Those hours are great. 5:30 to 9.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to work those hours.
That's Jennifer, what do you like best about what you're doing?
There is never a dull moment here. There's always something going on. There's always something to do. It's very busy, but it's good work. I feel like I really get the chance to interact with children and make a difference in their lives.
The Director of Youth, Teen, and Family Programs is wearing a lot of hats, Jennifer Jones, and that is programs plural. There are a heck of a lot of them. If you just sat here for 10 or 12 minutes, you've heard a heck of a lot of different programs. Get out to the Florence Family YMCA. If you're throughout the PD, you can travel over here and find Jennifer Jones, find out some of those programs going on. Jennifer, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Colleen Walsh and Jennifer Jones for helping to make the family stronger here at the Florence Family YMCA.